Okay, folks, we're done with the 2 versus 2. Now on to the 1 versus 1. Now we're starting off with ThomasG versus Soccer. This is obviously it's on Turtle Rock. A mirror match. Actually, all the 1 versus 1s are going to be mirror matches because there's Nicker and there's Moon as well. So there's just going to be a bunch of elf mirrors. But once I'm done this, I probably never will want to cast one again. Pretty standard opening from both of them at this point. And actually, we should probably just slow down to 1 XP because I'm not sure how far in they are to the game. I don't want to sort of skip over all the interesting stuff, but I think the first thing we can say definitely is that this Goblin Merchant is going to be very important. Obviously, getting the scouting ward from it's going to be sort of just so important, as well as just access to it for invuln pots and heal scrolls and stuff. Be very important, and I think it looks like a pretty standard mirror match at this point. It looks like both will be teching, no Huntress builds or anything, and on Turtle Rock you have a fairly sensible option of going for Naga and then either mass archers or mass archers with a couple dots or master dots or bears. I assume you've all seen actually the game between Soccer and Moon that I cast a while back. I don't know why I would say I assume that, but if you haven't, you should definitely watch it because that was a really epic best of 3. And in that, I think you see some of the sort of options available to them. And both players now just about to scout each other. Soccer's Wisp is now moving in, and I think ThomasG has actually already scouted. He got a bit lucky with the scouting, and Soccer immediately going in to buy some dust and circle it as well, and taking a lot of damage from the creeps. And ThomasG means that ThomasG actually can't buy dust, but it means they can't get a free mana burn, so that's well worth getting. And Soccer looks like he's just gonna finish this last wisp, and then he'll probably go for his tech. And where's the tech? There's the tech there. A bit behind ThomasG, but not too far behind. It's perfectly a reasonable amount. And meanwhile, it looks like Soccer is now just chasing down this archer and demon hunter. Obviously, when he's fully healed up, just the power of the circlet sort of enables him to sort of win this battle, especially considering that he also has +3 agility, whereas all ThomasG got was the ability to hide, and that doesn't even apply at the moment. But Soccer does just have to run away because the second archer's turned up, and he decided clearly he just doesn't want to take all that extra damage. And Soccer with some fairly decent wisp positions around here, obviously just for extra scouting, and then also for the potential for a block. We saw he had a wisp around, but he didn't manage to get into position in time a second ago. And this wisp now taking a couple shots, but it won't get killed. It'll just be able to run to a safe position. And both sides producing a fair number of archers. That's pretty important, because if you just get pushed exactly at tier 2 by lots of archers and Naga, that can be pretty deadly. So you do have to produce a couple of archers, and it looks like Soccer's continuing to produce archers now. And meanwhile, ThomasG's at 4, whereas Soccer's only at 2. Obviously, he has the third on the way, but he is a bit behind. And I'm not sure if we should probably check for Hunter's Hall on both sides, but Soccer just chasing down this one archer, obviously got a bit of bad finishing. He did manage to get the boots, and so there's going to be a lot of extra hits. He does now dust as well, just so he can't hide, and looks like this one archer will now go down. And meanwhile, though, the demon hunter has taken a lot of damage. It was very nicely microed. That archer was very nicely microed by ThomasG, which meant that he did get a lot of free hits in. And I think ThomasG's probably going to go try to buy some dust, but I'm not sure if he can. No Hunter's Hall here for ThomasG, and here's one here for Soccer. So it looks like Soccer will be going for a well, actually, he could be going for one of a couple of things. Probably a Dryad bear build, but he could go for a sort of a tier 2 Dryad, and then dots, and then archers, and maybe even some hunts. Who knows? And I think it's pretty sure that both players will go for a Naga second. There are a couple options, but they're pretty unstandard, and Naga is just so good in this situation, especially combined with the demon hunter. And this ogre magi is now being creeped out for Soccer. As I said, it's really important to get that creep, and actually a nice hidden archer here managed to scout all these archers going the wrong way, and so Soccer is pretty happy to creep this, I imagine, and he actually needs to be careful now. He's taking a lot of damage while creeping, and he wants to pick up these items, but he is going to have to get out of here, because he only has 30 hit points, 23 hit points. He doesn't actually manage to pick up the Ring of Protection, but he did get the important item. He got the Watch Reward, and that's going to pay off. And archers, or Nagas, both sides for ThomasG and Soccer, and obviously Soccer only picked it up with the Wisp, whereas ThomasG seems to have brought the army, and so this Naga will have to run away, and I think this archer will probably get killed at this point because of that frost arrow. He might manage to get a detonate, I'm not quite sure. No, he doesn't. And Demon Hunter still only level 1, very close to level 2 though for ThomasG, whereas I think it's level 2, yeah, level 2 for Soccer. Excuse me. Ancient of Lore now going down for Soccer. Only 1 at the moment, but I think we'll see a second one in a minute. He's getting improved bows, which is pretty sensible, and I imagine ThomasG's getting the same. Yeah, he is. No tier 2 buildings yet for ThomasG, so we might see a sort of a all-out push almost with just sort of this mass of archers, and that could be really effective. And Soccer now just scouting about with an archer. That's a pretty good idea, because he knows that ThomasG, he knows that he bought the dust, and so ThomasG isn't really gonna be able to counter him. If he does encounter the archer, he can just hide, and that archer will be well set. And level 2 now on the Demon Hunter, picking up Ring of Protection. That's not that good, but he does have a circlet as well. That's a very nice item. And this Wisp now just scouting about through the base. I'm not sure if ThomasG had actually scouted at all, but he now does know that there's 1 Ancient of Lore going up, an Ancient of Wonders as well. No second Ancient of Lore yet, at least not one that I've seen. And it looks like it's going to be a very aggressive game from ThomasG. He is going to be going for pure archers, and then Ancient of Horse. Unfortunately, for him, Soccer has just scouted this with Wisps, and obviously ThomasG will be getting the armor upgrade as well, Nature's Blessing. I'm not sure if he's just getting it now, and he'll be just moving all in with these Ancient of Horse and really using them as pretty much as bears, sort of 1,000 hit point things that can do normal damage and can heal themselves. And that's sort of a pretty strong strategy, but he will need to be careful. He needs to end this game quickly, basically, because the more bears and things that Soccer can get, the more trouble that that ThomasG is in. And first bear is now coming out. No bear upgrade yet. I'm not sure. Have I missed the second of Ancient of Lore? I'm not sure why it isn't here. Maybe it's because Soccer's pumping tier 1 still, that he just couldn't afford to put up a second Ancient of Lore, but that seems pretty careless of him. And Soccer actually going for a bit of a counterattack here. He knows that ThomasG has a stronger army, and so he just wants to try and distract ThomasG for as long as possible. ThomasG now focusing down these repairing Wisps, but healing on the Moonwells, but that can't last for long, and so Soccer does just have to run them out. And Soccer now putting down another Moonwell in a bit of an interesting position here. This one hidden archer just sort of popped out and immediately hid, and actually ThomasG does have a dust, so he definitely use it, but just being a bit careless maybe, or maybe he wants to take out this Ancient of War first. That'd be pretty understandable. Meanwhile, Soccer has managed to take out 1 Moonwell. It is already being rebuilt, but it is now TPing back as well. And lots of Wisps out, and actually a bear as well. I'm not sure if this bear is going to get a roar and then run into the back or something. But he definitely shouldn't be fighting, because obviously not in a great position. And ThomasG now does have his Ancient of Wars moving in, and he's producing an Ancient of Wind actually, so it looks like he's going to throw in a couple dots as well. That's a pretty nice combination, just because all that fairy fighter works very nice, and they also have the magic damage is nice against the bears. And Soccer putting up a couple Ancient of Wars just to counter them. I'm not sure if he has the armor. He doesn't have Nature's Blessing. That's going to be a real problem for him, because it's going to limit his mobility. It's going to mean he has less armor. It's going to mean it's going to be harder for him to eat trees. It's really going to cause him a lot of problems. I think this is actually going all right for ThomasG, all things considered. Soccer with still now adept training bears, and he doesn't have tier 3 yet, so he hasn't even started the tech, so it's gonna be a while before he can actually have bear form. But I guess he's just gonna use it for rejuvenation, just heal up his Demon Hunter and just use it as a tank, because that is sort of the only melee unit really. And this Druid of the Claw, he just needs to make sure not to lose it. He just needs to keep it in the back, keep on using all his Moonwells on it to regenerate his mana, and then he can heal himself up and heal up other units as well. And this Naga, taking a lot of damage, has to use a healing potion, but now the Demon Hunter's in a bit of trouble. We'll have to run back, and we'll take a couple hits from the Ancient of War while he's at it. And Soccer's Ancient Wars aren't yet up, and I think he probably should have done. Probably should have built these earlier. But Rejuvenation again on the Demon Hunter, and I'm surprised how much he doesn't have a Wisp or something here just to detonate to get rid of that. And Ancient of War now up for Soccer. He is now getting Nature's Blessing. Obviously, he's realized that he does need it, and he probably just didn't have the lumber for it or something. And the first dot is now coming out for ThomasG as well. So Soccer needs to be able to push this back before that dot turns up, because at that point it's going to be sort of Fairy Fire on a Demon Hunter just sort of takes out its armor, and its armor is really all the Demon Hunter has going for it. And these two Ancient of Wars now up for Soccer. This one should really eat a tree, but Nature's Blessing is now research as well. There's the tree there, and ThomasG has now rooted his Ancient of War, and this is going to mean that he can beat down on its Moonwell without taking lots of damage from the archers. And Soccer is using his Druid of the Claw. I'm surprised about that. I'd have kept it a bit further back. Maybe he just wants to have it always ready for rejuvenation, but even then you think he could keep it a bit back here. But first dot is now out, and obviously Fairy Fire goes on to the Demon Hunter immediately, and so it actually reduces his armor significantly. And Soccer's Demon Hunter actually in a bit of trouble now. He really needs to he might have actually got us around